Well, really, it's about the empowerment of the consumer. The internet was the first wave of giving access to consumers information about choice and options, and really helping them understand what pricing power they did have relative to their bank, their financial advisor, their investments. And that opened up the mind of the consumer to really delve deeper into what their options are. And of course, now with AI and with these incredibly powerful tools at the hands of consumers, they have much more leverage when they are dealing with things like retirement, their financial advisor, which is really the opportunity we're pursuing at Domain Money. We are trying to blow apart the 1% AUM fee that most people pay to their financial advisor, which, if you do the math over the course of a lifetime, is essentially the equivalent of giving your advisor a house.
Okay, so here's what I don't get. Okay, here's what I don't get. So many rich people are super smart, hence how they got their money. They are still paying huge management fees that end up eating into returns.
Yep.
Even people who don't have a ton of money are paying huge management fees. I thought the robo-advisors were going to kill this. But you know what? Quarter after quarter, we hear from the banks, wealth management business is booming. We're bringing in more and more clients. We're bringing in more and more money. Why?
So a couple things. One is that when the complexity is high and the cost of being wrong is high, you want an expert. And while robo-advisors solve one part of that problem, which is just your fundamental taxable investment accounts, what about your 529 plan for your kids? What about your RSUs? What about your 401k? What about how you manage the cash flow and budgeting to fund the various goals you have for the long term? Robo-advisors don't do that. And people want a bespoke human experience. They want to be able to sit down with somebody that they trust and understands the nuances of their life and help them navigate all of those pieces. And so, people continue to seek out a human advisor and will continue to seek out a human advisor. If you want a digital AI advisor today, you can get it from ChatGPT for free, essentially. But people don't want that. They want the interaction with someone who has judgment and understands, again, the nuances of their family and their lives, and they'll pay for it. Unfortunately, most people don't appreciate that 1% fee is enormously erosive to their long-term net worth.
One of the things I'm curious about, too, flat fee you guys do, you've got one advisor, that works with one client, and you do that through the duration as much as you can. That's
right. With Domain Money, you get a dedicated certified financial planner, which is the highest level of designation in the advisor business. They stay with you throughout your journey, and we handle everything. We manage your investments, we file your taxes, we get you an estate plan, we give you a financial plan, obviously, and we work with you and coach you along the way to help you stay on track as your life unfolds and as things change.
Adam, who's your demographic? Give us an idea of who is mostly on the platform.
Yeah, our average customer is 42 years old, household income of $364, net worth of $1.3 million. So they're right smack below the traditional wealth management sector, and they are frustrated because their options are call Vanguard, get sold an ETF with somebody with a headset on trying to get another account, or they go to a traditional wealth management firm and they say, you don't really have enough investable assets. We'll take you because you're an accommodation client, a friend of the firm, but they'll end up assigning you a junior person, and the quality of the advice you get and the attention you get is quite low, and nobody wants to feel like a second-class citizen wherever they go.
What are the assets they want? I'm curious about, we've spent a lot of time, I feel like, over the last couple of years talking about private credit, alternative assets. Like, what is it that they want?
It's a great question. Our client is not looking for private credit or access to alternatives. It's really about the correct tax allocation and strategy and minimizing those taxes. It's about allocation of their investments given what's in their 401k and their RSUs. And it's really about planning, ensuring that you're consistently saving towards your goals given the permutations of life as it unfolds.
Are they going to stay with you throughout their financial journey?
Yeah, that's our ambition.
It is?
Yeah.
So they'll grow with you because they won't, start making more money and then go and become a private client at one of the big banks.
That's right. So this client will have $5 million in 20 years, and they'll inherit $84 trillion over the course of the next 20. And our ambition is to evolve our service offering and serve clients as their complexity increases. And to that point, we do have clients today who are in their late 50s and have $5 or $6 million and are looking for the proper allocation.
What's the stuff that you're missing right now? Like, what do you still need to build out to accommodate people who have even more complex financial lives?
Well, we've partnered with Trust and Will to help with things like estate planning, where there are much more complex trusts in place rather than just a straightforward will. So we feel like we can serve clients pretty well today, but of course, over time, we'll enhance the platform. One of the things that we're working on is building out our scenario planning capabilities, which is what clients really want, is to be able to interact with a digital platform that's modern and next gen, but also have a human advisor. And so we're working on expanding our scenario planning tools to basically serve clients as they get more mature in their life.
Got to ask you, because you guys, I love talking with folks like you, because you see stuff on the platform and what real investors are interested in. Are they still interested in cryptocurrencies? Like, I'm curious, you've been involved in this world, and what's going on as we've seen certainly Bitcoin fall back dramatically from the highs?
Yeah, I mean, there's always an interest in the thing that's going up the most. And when crypto is tearing, people are very interested in it. When it sort of falters or goes down, people are less enamored by that asset class. But we absolutely have lots of clients who have crypto, and we help advise them on what allocation would be an appropriate risk to take given their timeline, their horizon, and their, again, essentially their willingness to bear risk.
I mentioned that you sold Clarity Money to Goldman Sachs, reportedly for around $100 million. Who buys domain money?
I get that question a lot. We really focus, and I felt the same with Clarity Money. I like to focus on solving a problem, and there is 29 million people in the United States who fall within the demographic that I described earlier that really can't get good wealth management services, and we're trying to solve that problem. I think if we do that well with technology and our teams, there will be no shortage of institutions that would be interested in our business.
What would your timeline be for that?
I don't really have that in mind.
Are you in this for the long haul, or are you? I mean, because you are a serial founder, you're a serial entrepreneur. Like this, you invest in a lot of different places too. Like I understand you're committed to this, but how many years are you going to be running it, do you think?
That's a great question. I'll let you know when you answer that.
Clearly.
Are you working for investment bankers or something? I don't know on the side.
You know something I don't know?
Yeah,
it is.
exactly.
It is a time when there are it seems like there are so many opportunities for exits, and there's so much growth in this area. And like you were saying, I think a lot of financial institutions would find this demographic interesting, one that they don't traditionally pay attention to because it doesn't necessarily make sense for them. But you found a way for it to make sense financially.
Yeah, I mean, we can serve this client segment profitably given our technology and the way we serve this client. And part of the magic that we've uncovered is that we really define the journey clearly and map it out for the client rather than let the client drive, which is typical in the industry. Because it's a service-oriented business, you tend to let the client do whatever they want, which is if they want to call and talk about the machinations of the market, you talk to them. We've come up with a service delivery model that really locks down the experience, and we found that clients appreciate it because they feel like they were being led down a path that helps them end up at the goals they care about, rather than just talking about the market, which really isn't very useful. What's most important is, do you have the right allocation? Do you have the right long-term strategy? Are you sticking to that strategy? And will that strategy yield the result you want? But to your point about the institutional interest in our business, we believe that there's no shortage of the large wirehouses, the large consolidators in the RIA space who would find our business model and, most importantly, our technology incredibly compelling. What we have built is a product that serves the actual needs of the emerging affluent. And the needs are connecting cash flow and budgeting with long-term goals. You go to a traditional wealth management firm, and what they focus on is investment management. They'll give you a 60-page analysis, Sharpe ratios, and Monte Carlo simulations of your investment portfolio. And if you're 42 and you make $360 as a household, what you really care about is how much can you spend on vacation this year, not am I getting this nth degree of yield on my Monte Carlo simulation if I were to change my allocation in my portfolio. People wake up every day and they're not thinking about asset allocation. They're thinking about, can I go on vacation?
It's kind of reality,
Can
right?
I buy the house I want? Can we afford to send the kids to private school, which we believe they need and would benefit them? Those are the life decisions that we help people navigate through in the context of their long-term goals.
If we could just kind of broaden out the lens for a moment and just think about the conversations we have so often at Bloomberg about artificial intelligence and where this is all going, and I think about things in the financial world, prediction markets, what do you find interesting right now?
Well, AI is just incredible. I mean, I know I'm not alone in that proclamation, but we use AI in every part of our business, whether it's the sales side, engineering side, marketing side, the service delivery of our financial plans. And the rate at which these foundational models are learning and improving is just astounding. The other incredible thing is how quickly the costs are declining. Mm-hmm. We consume a lot of tokens in the utilization of our service delivery. We ingest a lot of documents, we parse a lot of documents, we extract a lot of data, and the cost of tokens is declining so precipitously that really our costs are declining. And so I'm just incredibly excited by the disruption in business process innovation that AI presents for our business, just on a pure operational level.
Yeah.
And so I think about that in the context of all the millions of businesses that are out there. And if you talk to any small business owner or even a large business owner, they are really focused on finding ways to use AI to improve cost and improve efficiency. And if you're not, you're really not doing the right thing.